Welcome to 303 Hoops, a whole lot more than the box score. For you hoop junkies, number nerds, or just someone who loves basketball, this is for the love of the game. Live from 303, I'm Ryan Hinske.
And I'm Caleb Bunch.
And we're back.
We're back.
Another week.
Another week.
Full of NBA content.
We're here.
Might talk about college on Thursday, but man, last night in the NBA
What a
was
day.
so good. If you guys missed it, it was a whole lot better than whatever happened on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yesterday was basketball's day.
10-7?
Yeah. I didn't even check the score till this morning. There was too much to watch in the NBA.
Doesn't matter. We're here.
Before we get into the NBA, we do have some housekeeping.
Yes, we do.
And, you know, we are moving off of the platforms Spotify and Apple and going full YouTube. The people have spoken.
The people have spoken.
The analytics consider us like Nick Nurse. You know, we're looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, that's our thing, is like we're moneyballing it.
Moneyball.
And the people want video.
They do.
The people want video. The people are going to get video.
Yeah.
So we're moving exclusively to YouTube. Makes it a little easier for us busy college students, but also, you know, if that's what the people want, then that's what the people are going to get.
Give the people what they want.
Exactly.
And if you're not subscribed already, subscribe. 303 Hoops. The name's easy. Follow along.
Yeah.
We have a journey that we're on. So. You know.
Oh, and boy, what a journey it is.
Oh, man.
And it starts with the song of the day.
It does.
Every time. Okay. I'm about to take you through history.
Take us through history.
50 years ago yesterday, a ship sank in Lake Superior by the name of the Edmund Fitzgerald. The Canadian folk legend Gordon Lightfoot decided, out of the thousands of ships that have sunk in that lake and the Great Lakes as a whole, that this was the one that he would write a song about. It's a 7-8 minute ballad about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, called The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
There we go.
And it's incredible. It's like you feel like you're on the boat. You feel like you're about to sink with the crew. And it's just a real nice song. And you'll know, if you're on that side of Instagram Reels, you'll know what I'm talking about.
That's the best, when an artist is able to make you feel like you're in the studio or make you feel as if you're in the exact scene that they're describing in their music. That's how you know that's a great song. That's just how you know the artist is doing their job.
How many songs do we have today where it's just a story? It's just a story.
I know.
Like Kendrick probably with Good Kid, Mad City. Like,
right.
That was a lot of storytelling.
Yeah.
But we don't get that like, oh, here's one story.
No, it's a rare talent.
Yeah.
For our artists to be really potent at storytelling.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's why we're here, right? We're journalists.
Yeah.
We like storytelling.
Yeah, that's what we do. So shout out to Gordon Lightfoot for that.
Yeah. My song is Home by Brent Faiyaz. It's on the album Saunderson. I love Brent Faiyaz. He was on my top 5 Spotify artists last year. Yes, I'm a Spotify user. For all you Apple Music junkies out there, know.
Yeah.
The home team is Spotify. So that's my song. No particular reason. I don't have a history lesson for you guys today, unlike this gentleman over here.
It's timely for me. You know, the anniversary was
That's
yesterday.
so fair. That's so fair. But I just love Brent Faiyaz. Good music. This album, Saunderson, loved it. Wasteland, I thought was even better. And he released a project last year as well. So, yeah, Brent Faiyaz has been on a roll. Or 2 years ago. Sorry, I said last year. Larger Than Life. But yeah, excited for new music. He's released a couple singles recently.
That's right.
I think an album's on the way. So.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I saw the first. He was like the little teaser like months ago.
Right.
And now here we go. So
yeah.
I'm excited for that. Probably for the first time, we have to cover breaking news.
We do
on 303 Hoops.
Dude, I feel so honored.
Yeah.
But, like, unfortunate of the news we are breaking as our first segment, right, for breaking news.
We should say we were going to talk about this team anyway.
We were.
We should say that.
We were.
This team was on our radar.
On the record.
We planned to talk about this team, the Dallas Mavericks, this morning, and then this happened.
And then the bombshell.
What happened?
Nico Harrison, good riddance. Ownership, they didn't like what they were seeing. Obviously, last year, the trade heard around the world. Luka Doncic somehow made his way to, of all teams, the LA Lakers, right? And Nico Harrison was the GM when that happened and oversaw that trade. And then when asked about it, his response was essentially, defense wins championships. So, interesting news breaking this morning. So, obviously, I assume that management was disgruntled with what they were seeing, not only because of the fact that Luka took them to the championship and was playing at an MVP level, but they're struggling this year, Ryan, and they haven't been playing well and definitely not up to the standards that they hoped post-trade, especially with having AD there, healthy now. Also, you have bigs like Gafford, bigs like Lively. Also, number 1 overall draft pick, Cooper Flag, who's been playing well, but obviously with that squad and then also the bench with Max Christie, D'Angelo Russell, you probably expected more than what their current record indicates, and that's 3-8, which in Dallas, having a sub-500 season with how historic that franchise is definitely below par.
Yeah, you bring in D'Lo, you bring in Klay Thompson,
Right.
and now they're both kind of coming off the bench,
Right.
or they're like in for each other when one of them's just not playing well. That decision is on Nico Harrison's hands. Bringing in AD, and this is the second time now, right? In his first game as a Maverick, he dropped like 50 points before getting hurt in like the third quarter.
Right.
The guy was on track for a double nickel.
Yeah.
Like he was cooking that game. Gets hurt. Then again, he's out right now. He's like day-to-day at this point, but
Right.
he hasn't played in over a week. They've lost 5 of 6. They gave up a lead last night. Might have been the final straw. They lost 116 to 114 after being up 88 to 79 at the end of the third. They allowed 37 points in the fourth quarter. They're 3-8 overall. Their wins are against Toronto, Indiana, and Washington, who have a combined record
of 7-24.
7-24, and 5 of those 7 wins are the Raptors.
Exactly. Indiana, garbage.
Yeah.
Washington, even more garbage, maybe.
And they had AD in that Toronto win. But, cherry on top, Cooper Flag sprained his right thumb last night.
Yeah.
AD's still out. They have a couple other players that are still day-to-day, and then Kyrie's still out.
Right.
So,
who's not going to be back for a while.
Yeah. So it's just a bad look to start the season. I do want to hear some of your analysis about, we did want to bring in bright spots because that is something that we should acknowledge. There has been some gains for this team this season, especially in their young players.
And I was high on this organization coming into this year. Maybe not high as other outlets had them, because I think a lot of outlets saw the roster on paper and thought, oh man, when Kyrie comes back, you'll have Kyrie, Klay, Cooper Flag, PJ Washington, AD, Gafford, Lively. Like on paper it sounds good, right?
On paper. Mm-hmm.
But obviously there's been some dissonance with what the players have been able to contribute and then what their name brings on paper this year. So it's interesting. But I think some bright spots, Cooper Flag has played well. In considering his first year and all the chaos that he kind of had to jump right into with Luka now being gone and kind of him being the young star, I think he's played well this year. PJ Washington, he's playing well. I think you can kind of expect that out of him. He's kind of a consistent guy. In the playoffs, he played well last year. And then this year, averaging 15 and 8. I don't know. You're playing, or not the last season, 2 seasons ago when they're in the playoffs, he played well. Max Christie coming off the bench, I saw he's shooting over 40% from 3, almost 50% from the field. So he's having a good year. And honestly, they're a top 10 team defensively, right? We kind of alluded to their wings and size at the bigs position particularly. And that's contributed well to their defensive identity, right? I think teams are going to have trouble, especially interior, when scoring against AD, Lively, Gafford, right? And then when you have Cooper Flag running the 1, right? Creates a lot of mismatch problems, especially on the defensive end. And being able to, when you have pick and roll action, which is so common in the NBA now, being able to switch 1 through 5, essentially, huge advantage for your team, right? And then even Klay Thompson, not the defender he once was, but he's not a traffic cone, right? So I think on paper, those are some things that you look at with the Mavericks team, and going forward, whoever I think is the GM needs to lean into those spots or build around those ideas, and we'll see what that looks like for them. And one question I do have for you, what do we make of Kidd's job now? Is this a signal that Kidd could be on the chopping block?
I don't think the blood is on his hands.
Okay.
I really don't. I think that you can only work with what you've been given, and when you involuntarily lose Jalen Brunson and then Jalen Brunson, like if you're Jason Kidd, you love to coach Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a little bit of yourself in him.
Right.
So he hasn't talked as much about that loss as he has the Luka loss, but it I mean, they could still have, theoretically, they could still have both of them.
Both. Which, crazy to think about.
What a 1-2 punch. Yeah. That's like what the Cavs want to do with Garland and Mitchell. Like, you just have that instantly.
Right.
Which, by the way, devastating loss in Cleveland, in Miami last night for Cleveland. But that's a whole different discussion. Donovan Mitchell, one of the shots of his career, just for another
play to be drawn up by Eric.
I had to mention my team, my beloved.
That's so fair.
That was a rough ending to that game. But PJ's been really good, and I think that was like a Jason Kidd invested in his development.
Right.
He's reinvented his sort of his role, coming from Charlotte, where he was more of that, like, the way sort of John Collins started his career in Atlanta, where it's like go, yam it
dirty
on people
man
and,
almost,
like, do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I think it's less on him and more like, I really like the way Cooper. I think the way that he's been put into the lineup is innovative, and it's kind of working. I loved the way he played last night.
Yeah.
That, like, if I'm taking the eye test, if I'm looking at the eye test and I'm looking at PJ Washington and Cooper Flagg, I like what I see. And I really liked, he almost had two of the most monster posters of the
so
season.
Athletic. It's ridiculous.
In that game last night in the fourth quarter. Just one quarter. He almost yammed it over Giannis and was fouled by Giannis on the way up. Hand in his, like, that's not anyone's arm in your face like this. Like, now that we're all on video, no one's listening.
You can see us now.
It's literally like this.
Right.
And if he would have yammed that, but that's not any old arm. That's the Giannis Antetokounmpo arm.
Right.
So he almost got that one, and then he almost had a putback dunk to tie the game in the final seconds. Oh. Was right there, like so close. So I love the way that he's not just like Josh Smith, where he's just like, let me go find the dunk.
Yeah.
He's like calculated. And no disrespect to Josh Smith. Yeah, I'm sorry, Josh Smith.
ATL man.
Yeah, he's awesome. But I think the way that Cooper times everything, the way that he controls his 6'10" frame, makes you think maybe this could be a point guard.
Yeah.
The way he moves, maybe he can be a point guard.
It's interesting, and Kidd kind of talked about this post-game a couple games ago. He was talking about giving him reps at the 1 is not necessarily for, December, January basketball. Really for when April, May rolls around. Maybe not even this season, but going forward, right? Right, giving him those reps and being a ball handler and being able to handle pressure on a daily basis. And I think we're going to see that out of him. He's kind of come into his own more recently, right? His last 3 games, he shot 9 of 15, 6 of 15, and 5 of 10. So not terrible numbers and more efficient than how he kind of started the year. Earlier, he was kind of all over the place. One game, he went 1 for 9. The other game, he was 3 of 14. But I think he's starting to settle into being a pro. Exactly.
Yeah.
And just getting those reps under himself and being able to be like, okay, I can handle this pressure in the NBA.
Yeah. What do you think about the way they're coaching? Because you asked me, I feel like you have a take about this.
I think if you asked me pre-finals run, I would have been Kids on the chopping block. I think
he's been so back and forth.
Right. He's been all over the place, and I think management chose Kidd over Harrison ultimately, which makes most sense, right? Because obviously he's a Dallas man, playing there, and then also you didn't trade away Luka. Point blank period, right? Yeah. And so that kind of, I don't necessarily think Kidd is on the chopping block anymore. I just think that management is sending a signal that, hey, we are not satisfied with the results we have seen recently. And while it might not be on you, there may just need to be an instance where we clean house, right? And that starts up top, I think. Or, in their opinion, it started up top with Nico Harrison. So we'll see going forward. But I do think that they're invested into the development of their younger players, particularly Flagg, right? And so you don't want to have too much coaching carousel or turnaround when you have younger players trying to learn a system, especially in the NBA. Such a fast-paced game, right? So I think that having a former player, Hall of Famer at that,
whose system works.
Right. We've seen it before.
He's gone to the finals with a team that shouldn't have made the finals.
No. And he's done amazing things for guards, right? We've seen how that's turned out for Luka, obviously. We saw what Jalen Brunson was before he got traded, and we see the man he is now in New York. So I think development is super important for Jason Kidd's system, and I think they're going to trust him leading that helm with Cooper Flagg there. And then Christie's developed well under him. Quentin Grimes also was playing well in his last years in Dallas. Obviously, he wasn't playing at the level he is now in Philly, But when he was with Dallas, he was still playing comparatively better than he was previously. So, yeah.
I think the front office has it right in when they say that they're choosing the coach, because we have to acknowledge too that we both put Dallas in our 1 through 10 rankings, and they were like 9 for both of us, but still, like, maybe they can make a little something happen.
Right.
That is not what this team is. No. And I think Jason Kidd, he's still not, it's not like his coaching career is done soon and he's going to like retire soon. No, this guy's, he's in his 50s probably, right?
Right.
Like, he's good. He's chilling. He could spend a decade here and be fine.
Yeah, it's 52.
52.
So
yeah,
plenty of years ahead.
He's good. He's got plenty of time to figure it out. But I think that it's hard to coach a team that doesn't know their identity.
Right.
And the right identity, and the way the front office made this correct decision, is they said, no, Nico Harrison, you did not build us a team that can make a run. You built us a team that now we have to look and say, we really like what we have with our young players. Mm-hmm. We have some really good development and nice acquisition there in P.J. Washington.
Right.
Really good acquisition. Maybe the number 3 scorer on the team now.
Yeah.
But we are not making those runs. We aren't built for a championship.
No.
We aren't defense wins championships, and that's just going to work.
But it's so interesting, though, because on paper, like, if I told you before the season, right, the Mavericks would be 3-8 at this point in the year, what would your thoughts have been?
I probably would say that I'd be surprised if AD was healthy, but he's not.
That's true. But he's played games, and even in those games, they were looking like, I remember the season opener.
I see something. Like, I do see something. I see that they can build with what they have right now instead of just throwing it all away.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But that they're not going to build something that can compete with the West right now.
Correct.
And, maybe if they were in the East, it'd be a different conversation.
Story, yeah.
But, like, when I do want to acknowledge that I think that's the way they should go, more the rebuilding route. I do feel bad for Kyrie and AD. I know that they want to be on teams that are competing, but that's not what Dallas is.
And that seems like, I know this is pre-Luka, but you got Clay for that same reason, right? You got a guard who you would hope would be able to be a knockdown shooter that Luka could play with, that could defend at a higher level than the guard who's literally facilitating your whole offense, right?
Right.
So I'm kind of perplexed by the idea that they're going to just throw that all away almost. And I don't think we're saying that, but it is interesting, though, in the spot they're in. They're 3-8, and it's like, where do we go from here? And I guess time will tell when Kyrie gets back what that looks like, but it doesn't seem like they're as invested in the win now mentality as they were literally 2 months ago.
For sure. Yeah. And I think this is my last thought on it. For Kyrie and AD and Klay Thompson, maybe they don't want as much as we think. They've all won championships. Klay's won 4.
Right.
Maybe it's more like they're getting paid. That's not the problem. They're fine. Maybe obviously, like, for legacy reasons, you want another run. But I can't get into any of those 3 players' heads and be like, are they okay with this right now? Because there's one part of me that's like, if you're a player like Klay Thompson and you've done all 4 and you're not going to be like Steph and have that level of longevity and just sustained excellence, it's kind of a cool scenario to be like, I play with Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
10 years from now, it could be like how, Kawhi talks about being, Tim Duncan. Like, he played with Tim Duncan.
And that you were his vet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you'll always have that.
Yeah.
That means and I think for a player like Cooper Flagg, like, okay, you got trained up by AD, Kyrie, and Klay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I just don't know personally whether they're on board with that or not.
Right.
That's what concerns me for them. Obviously, I care about these players wanting to have like a satisfying end to their career.
Right.
Not saying that their careers are over, but they could be.
Yeah.
So that's the last thought I have is just about those vets, but they have to reinvent themselves. They have to start from scratch. And I like what I see from a young team.
Right.
As much as I liked the Raptors last year or the Trailblazers that are now maybe taking another step.
Right.
They can make a move like getting a Denny Avdia type player.
Exactly.
I mean, Portland has something going now that they could set themselves up for.
Yeah, exactly. And no, it is interesting. And I mean, it's just hard to tell based off what we will see from the Dallas Mavericks going forward because there's so many question marks in the air still, right? But I will say, like you said, their young players are contributing, and I expect more out of Lively. Lively hasn't played the best basketball we've seen out of him, but I think that once he gets going, that will kind of reinvent.
And can stay healthy because he is out right now.
Exactly. That will reinvent kind of the Mavericks and the identity they want to have. Like, because what we talked about, they're good defensively, and that's a lot. Yeah. In the NBA, it's hard to be good against such high-octane offenses, especially in today's day and age, but they're doing a good job of defending. So.
And Lively has that.
Yeah.
We've seen flashes of, like, being a top defender.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
speaking of another team with young players that are good,
Detroit basketball.
What are your thoughts, man?
Dude.
They played last night. It was a nail-biter.
It was.
Awesome game. It was
It was
a back-to-back, right? And they are decimated with injuries right now. But we still saw them pull off the win, even though it was against the Wizards. And we saw my man, Cade Cunningham, put up 40-plus shots.
Yeah. The Cade Show. Yeah, it's hard. Like, we're both excited to watch that game last night because we were gonna talk about the Pistons today. And it gave us all the antics that we wanted to see, but it's not like how the Pistons normally play.
Right.
But this team, first of all, very good decision to hire JB Bickerstaff.
Awesome choice.
And I'll tell you why. In Cleveland, the team was defensively built with high ceiling offensive players. The problem was that they played too slow.
Right.
Every possession, we were chucking up a shot with 3 seconds left.
Right.
The Pistons have the bounce and the speed where they can be like a slower playing team, but then they can explode.
Yeah.
They can explode.
No, yeah.
And, Asar Thompson's one of those players. Yeah. Ron Holland II.
My goodness.
One of those players. He made a few, like, head scratcher, like, rookie mistakes last night where he just, like, turned the ball over, like, just passed it to the defender. I'm like, what are we doing here? But he has that bounce. We both picked them to be the 4 seed over the Magic in the East to finish behind the Cavs, Bucks, and Knicks, of course.
Right.
And they might even be looking into that upper echelon, maybe tier 1 of this. And it starts with Cade, of course, but Jalen Duren, man.
Dude.
They might be the best pick and roll duo in the league.
It's ridiculous. That is a man's man.
Yeah.
That dude, I'm watching the game last night. I'm like, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
He is huge.
He's averaging 14 rebounds.
No, yeah. His last 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 21 points and 14 boards. And I think what's super interesting about the Pistons, right, and you talked about this with Bickerstaff, super, super focused on just effort, right?
Yeah.
And I think that reflects in kind of where they rank in the NBA right now. They're 4th in defensive rating and 2nd in offensive rebounding percentage. And I was watching that game, and I'm like, can anyone block out Jalen Duren? The answer is no, right? Marvin Bagley looked like a traffic cone out there last night. Alex Sarr didn't know what to do with him. And I'm just like,
it's like the bad boy Pistons, man. He's like built like that because he's not that tall.
He's not.
But he is a beast.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a unit.
Don't get in the paint with that guy.
And Wallace, like you said, bad boy Pistons.
Yeah.
Or not, I guess they're 04 Pistons.
And then Beef Stew, bro.
Dude. And he didn't even play last night.
Yeah. And he's like in and out of the lineup.
Right.
Hurt.
Yeah, but that team, I think they have an identity that they know they can rely on their young players. They can get up and down the court, but they can slow it down in half-court offense, right? You have people that can lead the helm like Cade. The stuff he was doing last night, and he wasn't the most efficient. He did not shoot great, but a lot of the shots that he got were open shots that he just missed, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like courtesy of defense. It was just like layups at the rim. He was missing simple floaters that he would hit like on every other game, right? He would normally make those he wasn't making last night,
Yeah.
but he was getting to his spots easily.
And you'd hope that, like, if Jaden Ivey's healthy,
Right.
then he makes the right backdoor cut,
Right.
and then there's an easy pass instead of Cade having to take.
Right. And he
take
was
on
forcing
that.
the issue a little bit, but
Yeah.
he knew that was necessary last night.
He was
right?
like, "We're playing the Wizards
yeah,
tonight.
we're
Like,
playing the Wizards, and
I'm putting up
half my
40
team is not
points."
playing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, literally, Stewart was out last night. Thompson was out. Who else am I missing? Someone else was out last night.
I was looking at, like, before the game last night, they put on basically their I can't remember what
Ivy's
the
out.
broadcaster said, but he said he was like, they're playing with like an off-season team right now, like other than Cade.
Arguably the best player last night, Dennis Jenkins.
Yeah, Dennis Jenkins
is on a 2-way contract right now.
Like, who is that guy? Let's
and he
be
played
honest.
great.
Yeah,
Hit the shot to
Javante
take
Green
him to
starting
overtime.
lineup. last night.
Javante Green was their power forward last. Like,
Yeah.
And no disrespect to these guys, but because they were ready, right, when their names were called and Bickerstaff put his trust into them. But that's not a normal Pistons team that we're going to see on a daily
But it's
basis.
Asar, Marcus Sasser.
Sasser
who
was
can
out.
play. Karis LeVert can play. We all know that. I like Chaz Lanier a lot, although he won't play in the playoffs.
Right.
But Tobias Harris
Harris was out.
is out.
I think
Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, I think Harris is out with ankle, so he'll be back relatively soon. Thompson's out with ankle, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, Stewart. They're all ankle
Yeah,
problems.
Stewart's hurt.
Right, so it's like day-to-day stuff.
6 players that are hurt right now.
Yeah, 6 players that are in your rotation,
And they're
like-
9-2.
and they're 9-2. Like, that team, I know we talk about younger teams, right, that take that step forward, and we saw that with the Thunder last year, right, and how they took a step forward. I'm not saying that they're this year's Thunder, by no means, but there's always a team that goes out and surprises us, right? The Magic a couple years ago took that step forward.
The
right?
Cavs 3 years ago with JB Bickerstaff.
took that step forward,
Yeah.
right? And they're a respected franchise in the East now.
But that was
Post-LeBron.
before they got Mitchell.
Right, exactly.
And then they were like, oh, we need one more piece.
And look at them now. So
What can Detroit do? With
I think it'll be
or even
interesting.
do they need
to see.
one?
I don't know. I think this team, they're built to win. Obviously, I don't know if they have enough of the personnel to win a championship with this team, just how competitive a lot of the teams at the top of the West are looking right now. But I do think if you're in Detroit, you have to be happy with what you're seeing. The Lions are good.
Yeah.
The Pistons are good. When's the last time we could say that in both seasons?
The Tigers are good.
Dude, the Tigers were good.
Yeah. The Red Wings, I don't know. Don't
I don't
ask me
know.
about the NHL.
We don't follow hockey, but we might soon.
Yeah.
But like, Detroit has to be ecstatic with what they're seeing other pro sports teams. Like, good for them. That city needs that. But yeah, dude, the Pistons, I'm excited for this club. Like,
It's for me, just as a JB Bickerstaff fan and seeing him before, it comes down to the playoffs.
yeah, no.
I'm worried about that when
and
they
we
get
saw
to the
that
playoffs.
last year with the Knicks. They
Yeah.
kind of got exposed in that series.
Yes.
But
That's my one concern, and we will talk about that over the course of the season, because that is something where JB, just his instinct is to slow it down, and sometimes you need to put the pressure on.
Right,
And the
right.
Cavs weren't doing that that year where Jared Allen said the lights were too bright, which was not still one of the worst quotes. Love that guy.
Terrible
He's
quote.
too nice for his own good. But yeah, that's what I have to say about the Pistons. They're really scary.
Yeah.
They really
and they're
are.
young.
Yeah.
They're young. So they're going to learn from all the mistakes they're making now come playoff time. So that's
Good
it.
job. Good
Yeah.
job, Detroit.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Detroit-
Love to end with a feel good, because in Dallas it's not looking too good.
Yeah, no. But Detroit, things are on the rise. there.
Yeah.
But yeah, every Tuesday and Thursday, tune in here. This has been 303 Hoops. Until next time.